Welcome back to another episode of Figures in Action, and today I have been trying to figure out how I'm going to review or kind of present this this tall ass dial. So what I'm going to do, because the last video I put out, it was like 30 minutes, and I don't want to put out 30-minute videos. I'd rather keep them to under 12 minutes if possible. So what I'm going to do with this dial is I'm going to review it in two parts, so two sections. So the first two sections I'll do today, and then tomorrow I'll do the last two sections, and then I'll display this diorama inside of a Detolf so you guys have an idea of what it looks like inside. So let's get to it. Alright, so we are back, and this is the first level. So this diorama, a quick background, I was contacted by someone who's gotten a good amount of dioramas from me, and some of the best work I've ever created has gone his way, which is awesome. So he contacted me, and he wanted to do something for a Detolf, like every single shelf. And I was like, man, that'd be great. It was something that had crossed my mind several times, but definitely a major job. So I remember when he first contacted me, I built this. This was the first thing I built, the base. I measured it out. And then as I went along the process, I actually switched this up a little bit. So in the beginning, this didn't have kind of this style. It just kind of had the straight, kind of look more like this. So I had to kind of come back and revisit this because I just didn't like it seemed like a really basic style. So I wanted to come in and do a little bit, something a little bit more intricate, I guess. So this is the base. So for a piece that's going to be on a Detolf, this is the very bottom piece. It was a challenge because I just didn't know how to go about it in terms of, how do you create, should I have made it the wall come up to here and then put a hole in it, but then it might have not looked as great because the lighting's not going to be that good. It's at the bottom of the Detolf. So I just decided, you know what, let me just do something like this where you get the wall kind of dip back, and then when the other Detolf, other part of the building Detolf will sit on top of here, I thought, in my mind, I was like, that'll be great. It'll give them an option of placing some figures there if you wanted to, and so I kind of went with that route. So basically, and I'll show you guys kind of the guts. I like showing the guts of the pieces. This is what the back looks like. One of the things whenever you create these, it's one of the things that I always have to be careful, that I always want to be careful about, is making sure that it's safe, it's not going to break. And I didn't want to make this magnetized just because it's kind of a smaller kind of wall, I guess, smaller structure. Also, I already knew that this was going to be part one of four, or 4 total Detolf dioramas, so they didn't all have to demagnetize or magnetize. So I figured this is, and actually this is the only piece. Every other piece in the series is you can magnetize this. So I just decided to make this piece where it's just permanent, so no walls come off. But to secure it, I made sure that I kind of put this piece there and this piece so it doesn't kind of collapse into each other or whatever. So went with that. I've used this technique before. It works fine. You can see the vellum paper there that I used, and then the doors themselves were foam as well. But what I did is, because I have the procs on, I'm using it a little more often now, so I made these doors thinner than just kind of the normal thickness of the board. These pieces actually remove. Sometimes, sometimes I don't, if I can get away with not magnetizing stuff and just finding different ways, one of my favorite things to do is to just peg stuff into a dial. So in this case, it'll be easy enough to just peg it in, and then you can just throw the second level. Now, originally, this was not an easy dial. Like, originally in my mind, I said, well, should we create it so that each dial goes on a separate shelf, so that there's the bottom doesn't count, it's not a shelf, but then the 3 glass shelves. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought, well, the danger in that is if you put too much weight on any one side in terms of figures, it can kind of fall a little bit. So my idea, and I haven't discussed this with the client, I haven't discussed it with him, but my idea is that this first level will be in the bottom, the glass would be there, and then the next 2 levels will have no glass. It'll just be the levels on top of each other. And then the third level would have the glass. So in other words, out of the 3 glasses, the 3 glass levels or shelves on the Detolf, I figured you can remove the middle one, and this should look good. And I will try it out in video number 2 when I kind of go over the last two pieces and also kind of put it inside of a Detolf so you guys have an idea of what that looks like inside of a Detolf. So this is the base. Basically just pieces of brick and concrete. I do have to do a couple of touch-ups before I send it out. I noticed that that wasn't painted in black and that there's a little bit of white specks there, so I got to paint those things. But generally just wanted to make the base, you know, enough so that you can put some figures there and some rubble, but not enough because most of the destruction happened above and most of the destruction was inward into the building. So this is the first one, and I believe, oh man, I'm horrible at this. This measures, let me see if I can find my yardstick here. Alright, so we're looking at, which is usually with the basic, we're looking at 14.5 inches across. Then for the height, we're looking at, from the base, from the bottom part there, we're looking at 15 inches tall. And then in this particular case, we're just looking at about 7 inches deep. So this is the base. This is part one. This is where it all starts. But again, when this goes into the Detolf, there is a glass case above it. So this isn't going to be holding all of the weight. But as you saw when I started this video, it can. It can. So this is the first one. Let's move on to the second one. This is level number 2. So this is the second of this 4-story building. Let's start off by giving it a view from a distance. So, one of the difficulties with creating these Detolf tiles is that you have to kind of go about it in the type of way where it's a lot of work, pretty much. So, you have to do the inside of these walls plus the outside. So now you're working on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 walls. Outside and inside. You're doing the floor. So yeah, so it's definitely a lot more work to put into it, but ultimately it's worth it because you know the Detolf's are glass, so you're gonna get a 280 degree view, I believe. No, 206. No, if it's 360, 180, and 16. 260, I don't know, but you're gonna get the type of view where you have to make sure that 3 of the sides are complete. Oh man, this was definitely not the easiest of tasks. For example, this window, oh my god, I'm like stumbling all over my words today. This window had to be framed on the inside and the outside. So it's not the easiest thing sometimes to do that, but again, it does look good. We have some rubble here. These are all permanent pieces. I also included a bag of removable pieces that you can kind of put throughout. So this is just, these are all permanent, and I used, these are just, you know, pieces of brick, which is just the foam itself, and just pieces of kind of concrete. So if something was to kind of, you know, hit this part, it would all, you know, rip into this this floor. The window the windows that I used for, let me see, the windows I used for this part, I have bought, I think these are prefab, but I have bought them at Hobby Lobby. So I got them at Hobby Lobby, and I thought they were great windows for this. That window was also purchased at Hobby Lobby. As you can see, what I tried to do is just make it look like it was destroyed. So, you know, when a building is destroyed, you still see the inside of the bricks, which are red, but you also see the inside of the cement. I had to make sure that the window, when it gets torn apart, windows are painted, but they're usually fresh wood pretty much inside. So I had to kind of make sure that that was there. This window here, I left it with no glass, just left it kind of by itself, but I did put and when I say glass, I mean like action figure package in plastic. The back door does not open, but it does have a knob, and then the walls are all pretty much scrapbook paper. So I call it wallpaper, but scrapbook paper. But it encompasses the entire. It goes all the way around. So again, not the easiest of tasks. My God, I can't even say that. But definitely worth it. I love how this came out. I really do. Like, it's funny because it's been sitting in my room because it's huge. So anybody that comes in my room is like, damn, that's huge, bro. That looks good. And so everybody's loving it. And when I tell them it's for the Detolf, they kind of can't envision it because they see all my figures inside the Detolf. So they're like, all right. So, and then what I did too is I wanted to make sure that I captured some of the dust like on the walls. So I would spray it with that adhesive spray and then just kind of throw in kind of that dust that I've been using, and I think it came out pretty good. The borders are foam, And this particular wood floor is not actual wood. This is scrapbook paper. The wood floor is actually, I did use some wood, some real wood, but it's on the third level, and it came out great. That'll be tomorrow's video. So yeah, just and oh, you know what? Let me just take this wall off so you guys can get a better view of the inside. So as you can see, I wanted to kind of make sure that it looked like a bunch of rubble had fallen here, and it kind of kicks off all that dust. So I wanted to make sure that that was there, and I was happy with how that came out. The borders are balsa wood for the most part. Anytime I'm going to do a border on, you know, borders for doors or what have you, they're always going to be balsa wood. I can get away with using foam for the trimming there, and that works out just fine. And in this case, I also had to go a level higher because I felt like it was too deep, and the hole in here you couldn't see enough of it. So I decided to just lift it up a couple of inches. And then what I did also is, there's a really big window, so I decided to kind of put a really big window on the side so that if you're on this side of the Detolf, you can still look inside and see whatever action figures are there. If you're on this side of the Detolf, you're gonna be able to see whatever figures are there through the big hole on the side of the building or through the window. This measures pretty much the same, but it's all magnetized. It all comes apart. So this is level number 2, and I think I'm about probably around the 12-13 minute mark. So I'm gonna end this. This is part 1. So I will be back tomorrow with part 2 and the rest of this dial, as well as displaying this dial on a Detolf, so you guys have an idea of the goal of creating this dial. Y'all, see y'all soon, and I'm out. Peace.